Thank you for tuning in to the Rewinding Minute. I'm your host, Leon, and this is episode 7, and I'm joined by special guests, Jake Tuohy of Jake Tuohy Productions and JoJo.
JoJo. What's up, Leon? How's it going?
I'm doing good, man. I'm super pumped for this episode. I'm super pumped to interview you because I think you bring a lot to the table, and we've known each other for quite some time, and, we're just like, I hate to say this, but we're like OG YouTubers, if you want to put it that way, and
it's true.
Obviously our paths have, evolved and we went to different avenues and platforms, but I think, without that start on, one of internet's biggest platforms, I don't think we would be here today with this energy and with this, resume that we share. And so tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I do mainly video production and I dabble in photography. But I do all sorts of video. We'll get into that later, but, music videos, weddings, I'm starting to get into real estate, I film sport games. So basically anything I can get my hands on, and I've just always had a passion for it. Me and Leon have known each other for years, and he could tell you that's always been my focus, and I always kind of knew what I wanted to do, probably since around 8th to ninth grade, which I'm always told I'm very lucky to know what I'm want to do, because even some of my friends at 23, they still don't really know what they want to do. So I'm lucky in that sense. But that's a little bit about myself.
We'll definitely talk about your humble beginnings as a filmmaker and, just content creator in general. But I want to start off with something, broad, because I think you said that you've known for a long time exactly what you wanted to do, in your life. And, you wanted to create content and just you have the passion for what you're doing right now. But what can you tell to me and to other people that are having doubts about, audience retention, fans, or, friends and family kind of just not being, supportive in the sense of, like, not even advice-wise, but just, like, not checking out the content or just even really giving it a listen or giving it a view? What's your take on that? And what's your advice to keep content creators motivated?
My advice would be, you gotta love what you do. Like, you can't expect someone else to share that same passion and understand how you feel about it. So, if you know in your heart that you love what you do and you're gonna give your full effort and attention towards that, just keep going, and the fame, so to speak, or the viewership, it'll come. It's not an overnight thing, and I'm still working at that. I'm not, getting millions of views or anything like that yet, but hopefully someday the videos that I'm producing will, and it all comes with time and passion. You have to have a passion for it, and you gotta just work hard and do your best, and good things will come, hopefully.
Well said, Jake. The only thing I want to add to that is 3 words: trust the process.
Right.
So yeah, that's to anyone else that's listening to Jake. Jake's been on these type of platforms for a very long time, and let's talk about your beginnings. Like what inspired you to record and post videos on YouTube, or just record videos and go with all these ideas, and who inspired you, and where did it actually begin?
So I'm asked that a lot, and the answer is I'm not quite sure exactly like what pinpointed the start for me. But I think it was honestly like my dad as a kid. He was always like filming, just little home movies. He wasn't a cinematographer or anything crazy, but he was decent with the camera. And we would watch those videos when I got a little older, probably like early middle school. And I'm like, this is so cool that like there's a memory here, and like this lasts forever. Like I'm watching videos of when I'm 2-3 years old, and I'm like, now I can relive it. And I think that's what kind of started it. And as we went forward and I got more and more interested, I bought my own camera in, I believe, 6th grade. And the first thing I did was I love thunderstorms, as weird as it sounds. I love thunderstorms and I love lightning. And the coolest thing about that was like seeing a bolt of lightning come down. Like that's like, oh, I saw the bolt. And as a kid, I thought it was the coolest thing if I got that bolt of lightning on film. And that's just kind of what started it. And from there, YouTube started really coming around 2007. That's when I joined. And you had these influencers such as Freddie W., Smosh, those early guys in YouTube, and I was just amazed that like they could entertain someone and they could get a reaction out of someone, and I just wanted to do that so bad, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing, technically or creatively. I was just a kid, but I had the passion and I wanted to learn, and from there I just kept looking into tutorials, how to do this, how to do that. You know, there was no answers. I couldn't ask my mom or dad, how do I use Windows Movie Maker and add this effect and transition and then upload? Like, I had to do it all from scratch, using my own tools to do that. So that's kind of how I got started, in a sense.
Right. So, I mean, Jake is a jack of all trades when it comes to, creating content with the camera. He's a camera guy, and his passion, when he talks about the thunderstorm, the lightning, we live on Long Island, and we get a fair share of, all different types of weather, with snowstorms, thunderstorms, hail, lightning, thunder. When, it's just crazy because, like, the geography of Long Island, we get all four seasons in a span of, weeks or days. But
Right.
just to jump back to the YouTube conversation real quick, in terms of the creators that you had mentioned, Freddie W. and Smosh and then the other ones, that OG YouTubers as well, like, you've noticed the change in the community since
Oh yeah.
a decade ago. It used to be, close knit, and it was just, just like, it almost felt like a real community, and nowadays there's a lot of beef. There's a lot of...
Yeah, it's a lot of BS.
Yeah, it's like, everyone's just trying to make that quick buck, but back in the day, it was really just...
It wasn't about the money back in the day. But back in the day, like, I don't know if it was just because I had more time on my hands, but I really think it was just a tighter knit community, and like, you knew the big guys on the site. Like, there was like 10 big guys. Now there's thousands. Like, I come up across a new huge YouTuber like every day. Like, obviously I'm not on it 24/7, and I don't know who's who nowadays. But like, I don't know if anyone does, because there's like thousands of people that are who's in every genre of the site. Like, there's just millions and millions of people on there now. So like, it's not how it used to be. I feel like a lot of people are out there, like you said, for the quick buck, which it's not a quick buck. It's definitely hard work in itself, making, good videos consistently. But yeah, I think it's definitely different.
Yes. So, when you were in middle school, high school, did you ever want to be a quote unquote YouTuber, or did you want to branch off? Like, because a lot of people that create content, they coin themselves a YouTuber, but you're making content for YouTube, but like, they consider themselves a YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? There's a
Right.
different title at that aspect. So when you first got on the platform, and when you started getting older, before you've gotten to this point, like, did you ever consider being a YouTuber, or was that just a platform to get a step in?
I feel like a little bit of both. At that age, it was so cool to like be like a YouTuber, and I guess that was my priority at the time, to get a lot of subscribers and get the views and get the comments. Mainly because I wasn't really worried about money. I lived under my parents' roof, and like, they would take care of me, so it was just like fun. I wanted to be a YouTuber. But as it went, I used YouTube more as a platform to showcase my work, and that's kind of where I am today. It's a full-time job to be a successfully good YouTuber, so that's not what I'm looking to do at this point, for sure.
Right.
It's more of a platform.
So when you said you self-taught yourself, how to edit and how to film, did you use YouTube videos as a ways to learn, or do you kind of just figure out those techniques on your own?
Absolutely. In the beginning, I had no knowledge. I had zero knowledge of, I was just getting into computers. Like, I was never like a real techie kid. I was never playing a lot of video games as a kid. I would, do a lot of outside playing and working with my dad. So, it was a completely new thing to me. So when I found out that there was step-by-step tutorials on YouTube, I took full advantage. And even though there wasn't even a fraction as many tutorials as there is out now, I still, weaved around, and I found my way. But, there's trial by error type of things too. I would try and do things myself the best I could, but when I was stumped, I would always go to Google or go to YouTube and type in my exact question, and usually 9 times out of 10, I would find that.
Right. So you kind of self-taught, and I remember you saying when you graduated from Five Towns College, but I remember when you were also getting an associate's degree at a community college. I remember you already knew all the stuff, going into the
Yes.
studies of your college journey. So like you were already a step ahead of the game. So I think like you said, the hard work will pay off. It's just a matter of when everyone else will catch up.
Exactly.
Not to undermine, education or, other creators. It's just that some people work at different paces. So like,
Yeah.
you're already, I can't really compare you because I don't really know who I could compare you with, but if I had to compare you with yourself, I think you've definitely increased and grown over time. And, one of my favorite early videos that you made was Spec Ops, and you made a few of those. And that was a very good series. And can you tell us a little bit about what Spec Ops was and what inspired that?
So Spec Ops was a creation of me and one of my really good friend Justin, who's actually in the Army as we speak. He's overseas right now, I believe, and I don't know if Spec Ops had something to do with that, but whatever. Spec Ops was basically me and my friend Justin being bored one summer, and I believe I was in 10th grade. It was the summer of 10th grade going into 11th, and I was finally really starting to understand video and editing. I would say like that was like the biggest turning point of my career, of really just getting into something a little more serious and not just like, we had a few things earlier. We did like trampoline videos, and we did like this little agent and assassin type of thing. But those all kind of led me to Spec Ops. And Spec Ops was like the first thing I really took seriously. So like we actually got together like a cast, mostly my friends, a crew, myself and one of my other buddies, Jared, and locations. We figured out locations. We wrote scripts. We wrote screenplays. And we really did it, sort of the right way, in the right direction of doing it the right way. And to this day, it was still one of the hardest things I had to pull off at that time, for sure, because, I was a kid. I didn't have transportation. I didn't have money like that. So me and Justin spared up our money. We bought a bunch of airsoft guns. We bought props. We bought, like, camo clothing. So it was kind of a big deal for the time. And, we got to these locations and we shot, and for what it was, I think it was really cool. I mean, you've seen it. You could talk a little bit about what you thought of it.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of go off with the low budget and kind of just rallying your friends. Like the Spec Ops videos were primarily filmed at your house, right?
So the first one was at the house, and then we got like such good reception from it from people that we're like, oh, we got to make a second one, and we got to do it a lot bigger. So the second one, was the second one? Yeah, the second one was primarily at my house in the first half, and then we moved to trails. We were in like the trails behind the high school and another set of trails actually. But yeah, mixed up the locations a little bit with that one.
Right. So, going back to Spec Ops and talking about you and Justin having to really just grind hard and hustle to really
get
this production going. Like, did you have any doubt about what the direction was? Like, if you made this and it didn't turn out the way you wanted it, or didn't get the reception as you hoped, would you have made a second one, or would you have just left it as it? But that's all hypothetical.
I don't know. I mean, at that point, it was pure passion. So, like, even if, I've received a lot of criticism throughout the years, whether it was people, bashing it or just making fun of me, thinking it was a joke. It was all good to me. It was like, I knew I was learning in the process, and I knew I had capability, so I was going to do it regardless. I think the good reception from Spec Ops 1 made me want to make Spec Ops 2 that much better, type of thing. So that's why we really put in the extra effort with that one. But yeah, I always wanted to do it, so I don't think I would have not done it just because, people hated on it, because quite frankly, most of the high school and middle school career people were hating on my work. but it didn't really matter to me. I loved it, and I knew I was gonna blossom into something more professional along the way.
That's great. That's a positive mindset because not everybody feels that way. I think some people want to make quick success, but it doesn't happen overnight.
No,
but
definitely.
you know what is kind of ironic. Like now, back in the day when we were in middle school and high school, like you would get made fun of for trying to do these kind of things. But nowadays, everyone's doing it, and like everyone is like a rapper, everyone's a singer, everyone's like an artist. Like no. This is not a criticism to anyone who has seeking that aspiration, but I'm saying like back in the day, you were kind of like looked down upon because that was like an outsider thing. But nowadays, you have so many SoundCloud rappers now. You have a lot of models on Instagram, and whether they're professional or just amateur, and just a lot of different people just getting into this type of field, which is great because it's open to everybody. But it kind of undermines the hard work that people have put in over time because you've done it for years, like 10 plus years, let's say, and other people doing it for 1 year. And it's kind of like, well, it's good and it's bad, right? It's good that you've seen the hustle and grind. So you know what to expect going in and what to expect, mentally and just like brushing the good, like not taking too much to the heart, but not taking too much out of it either.
Right. Yeah, you can't take every comment to the heart. I used to back in the day go back and forth with people on the YouTube comments, just being a stupid kid as I was, thinking that was going to make a difference. And I remember my dad telling me, he was like, Jake, well, what are you arguing with these people for? They're just, doing, trying to, I don't know, pass time. I'm like, I don't know, I want to get back at them, but like, it doesn't solve anything. So now if anyone has anything negative to say, I say, thank you for watching. Hopefully, next time you'll enjoy it more. And I guess that just comes with maturity. But to be honest, I really don't care what people think anymore. Like, I'm going to do what I like. And if I like it, then that's cool with me, and the client, of course.
Right.
Gotta make the client happy. But I don't really care to make everyone happy anymore.
Exactly. And before we jump into the clients, because you have a nice clientele that we know locally on Long Island. But, I remember, you have a lot of videos that stand out, but I could go on forever with the videos that stand out to me, but I got to go with the Harlem Shake because at that time everybody was making a Harlem Shake video.
Yeah.
But your Harlem Shake video was different because it wasn't done before. Nobody really used athletes, lacrosse players, or they used the facility to do so. And I just think, you posting that on YouTube. Obviously everyone was doing Harlem Shake, but I just remember that just stands out to me because it kind of captures the time frame of when this happened.
Right. So I believe that was, I think I was in senior year at that point. That's probably like 2013 that came popular, 2012.
Right.
So yeah, I was a senior in high school, and every day after, we had a really good lacrosse team in high school, and we worked hard all year round, not just in the spring season of lacrosse. So that was in the winter, and every day after school, we used to go to this training facility and practice for 2 hours, and it was rough. And I'm like, you know what, this Harlem Shake thing's really taken off. And like you said, I haven't seen anything with athletes really up till that point because I think we hit it pretty early. And I'm like, yo, boys, I'm going to bring the camera and we're going to do a quick little Harlem Shake before, Mitch starts yelling at us to get our stuff on. So everyone's like, oh, yeah, let's go. So before we started practicing, we did the little Harlem Shake, and it came out pretty funny. And I think it actually has close to 12 to 15,000 views, which I was surprised at, but I kind of, foreshadowed. I'm like, if this is the first lacrosse one to come out, it might get some views, and I was right, which is cool.
Exactly. So, and people get a little, gimmick out of it if they recognize it. They might be like, we play them in lacrosse, or I know this school district and stuff. So it kind of adds a little novelty to it because it's more relatable.
Right. Absolutely.
So no, now I've been pumped the whole episode, but now let's talk about these clients. Let me just name some of the clients that I am aware of. Obviously, you have a whole list of clients, but the clients that I remember and that I are familiar with, we have Vin J, one of your good friends.
Yes.
We have Joey Zan.
Yep.
We have Ron Mac 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I'm blanking here. Just help
I
me.
mean, those are the main guys right now. I've done work for, lower and Matt Hoey, Don Pope, his name is. We've been working together recently, and he's been bringing some bigger budgets to the table. We got a Lamborghini and a bunch of models out for the last video we did with him.
Alakazam.
Alakazam, correct. That was a lot of fun. Um, I'm sure those are like the main four relevant ones right now. I've worked with Joey Dico, Mike Adams, all local guys. But we're currently starting to expand. I'm trying to get to people in the city, people upstate. That's my main focus right now. Is the work is out there. I wanted to get my body of work out there and show people. And I'm actually getting, on the daily, people are hitting me up, dude, I love the videos, what do you charge, what's your packages, type of thing. So by this time next year, hopefully, I'll have a whole list of more clients.
That's solid, dude. I'm lucky and I'm blessed and privileged that, you were able to get back to me pretty quickly. So I was like,
Yeah,
you didn't throw me in the gutter,
No, never.
Before we talk about your charges and your service fees, let's talk about I've seen a video with the model Justine Elizabeth.
Yes.
She's a little bit higher profile, am I right? I'm not sure what was the deal with that one.
Yeah, she's as you would say, kind of Insta famous on Instagram, and so we were actually, my buddy hit me up from film school, Five Towns, RK, very talented kid. And we've worked together before, and I believe it was last summer, he hit me up, he's like, hey, I'm shooting this video for, I think the New York, it was like a New York Film Festival type of thing, New York State Film Festival, and the objective was, he lived on Long Island, so he wanted to make a short film showcasing Long Island at the same time telling a story. So I was a camera operator on that project with him, and his main actress was Justine Elizabeth. And through, we spent the whole day together, and she was a really cool girl. And I'm like, hey, Justine, I want to put a little something together, a minute video for Instagram, nothing too hard. And she's like, yeah, definitely. She was super artsy and stuff, so she was totally into it. And she actually showed me that song. I forget what the name is at the time that she showed me, but I really thought it was an interesting song. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to use this song for the edit. And we were in Montauk, so that was on the Montauk Bluffs, I think it's called. And I just did a little cool edit for her, and I added that song, and she got back to me, and she was ecstatic. She was like, oh my god, you're so good, this is perfect, I love the song, because she showed me the song during that day. And she ended up posting it to her YouTube, and I got a lot of people hitting me up from that, and it got a lot of exposure. So that was just another little cool thing, just for me doing a little something for nothing,
And little side note, a little piece of advice from, I guess, me and you at the same time, always make connections, network with people, because your buddy from Five Towns, if he could have hit someone else up, but he decided to hit you up, so it all pays off because your legacy is important. So
yeah, absolutely. That's how I go into everything with Leon, is even if you're not getting paid the most or what it's worth, or even getting paid at all, I wasn't paid, and I spent a full day. I got there at 7 in the morning and left the next day. I actually slept over till 12 in the afternoon, but just because of getting to know that girl, it gave me a little exposure, and not that's what I was looking for. Obviously, I was out there for fun and to help my buddy out. But you always got to look for those connections, and like you said, networking is key in this industry for sure.
I'm gonna do a little bit. I'm gonna do a little rewind, no pun intended. But when you guys had the Fire Squad, you guys were on the local news website.
Yes, Porch F Patch. Yes.
Yeah. So can you how's the Fire Squad doing in current time? Are you guys still together? Do you guys still work as a team, or is it kind of
yeah, so, I mean, it's not a solidified thing like it used to be, just because obviously we've all grown older and just expanded. So Roy, who is, Roy Lenzo. He's super, super talented. He's like one of the busiest kids I know. I'm busy, but this kid is freaking busy. He's in the Manhattan, Soho, in a recording studio with Take a Day Trip, which, I don't know if you're familiar with the Sheck West song, Mobama.
Yeah, I know Shrek West. I was like, this guy has a similar name as me, but
Yeah. I forgot about that. So, Roy was in the studio when they recorded that. He's done a lot of songs with the YBN guys. Roy is really taken off with his recording and producing aspect. So Roy's doing awesome. I'm still working with Roy. I talk to Roy almost weekly. Roy's still a good friend of mine, and he's doing nothing but he's going to be famous. I know for a fact. He's awesome.
does he still go by Roy's Beats, or does he just go by Roy Lenzo nowadays?
I don't know, to be honest. So we've done this thing a few years ago where he changed his name to Wave, W-A-V, like the sound file.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's still going by that or Roy's Beats. I really have to ask him about that because I'd love to address him properly. But I've just been giving out his full name,
That's fair. That's fair.
Look him up. But yeah, Vin's more talented than ever. I swear, every time he shows me a song, I'm like, dude, you one-upped it again. Like, he just gets better and better every song, every mixtape. So I'm actually currently working on an edit with him and Ron Mack. It's really cool. And that's the Fire Squad right there. And we've just been getting up in our quality, up in our sound, up in our visuals, everything.
Yeah, I mean, I saw I saw Vin's, one take on the futuristic.
Yes.
That was fire, man. And also, like, in the past, like, I think it was last year, you guys had a lot of views on Facebook for one of his, I forgot the name of the song, but, what was that? How was that?
What was it was the one with the therapist.
Yes.
I have it right here.
That did very well. I was in
that
was that.
That got upwards of a few million views. Black and White, it was called.
Yeah.
My mistake. That got like I think 3 million views on Facebook or something, and it really went viral. And that was the first time one of the videos that I produced really went viral. And I think funny story is, we did that all in a night. So him and Roy, Vin and Roy, were over Roy's house making the beat, probably around like 5 o'clock. And then they laid down the track probably by like 8 or 9. They hit me up. They're like, dude, we got a great song. It's awesome. What are you doing right now? And I was hanging out. I forget what I was doing at the time. I'm like, nothing. You guys chilling? I went over there and I brought my equipment. We came up with the idea. We went to Walmart. We got a few light fixtures to add like that color. And Roy had this cool remote on his light where he could change the light remotely. So I'm like, why don't you do that on beat? Like, because he's a producer to begin with. I'm like, just do it on like the bass hit or the treble hit. And you'll see it. Vin J, Black and White, came out really cool, went viral on Facebook. And now I believe just from Facebook, people loving it that much,
right,
now has upwards of 14,000 views on YouTube without promotion. That's just from people from Facebook, checking it out, which is really cool. 300 likes, 100 comments. It's pretty cool.
So yeah, I mean, if you guys thought we were just joking about Jake and everyone's success, we weren't joking. Obviously, we're being humble, but at the same time, like, these things, build up over time. But like you said before, it's about the passion, right? So when you experience, positive feedback and a lot of exposure, that's like making money in it of itself, because you want that legacy to live on. Money kind of dies out, but legacy is like the thing is, I'm interviewing you, Jake, where when I started this podcast, I'm like, one of the first, I'm definitely going to contact Jake. And I'm not going to lie here. I haven't talked to Jake in maybe 2 years, 2 or 3 years.
We've been busy.
So but in my mind, I'm like, I still think of his videos from time to time. I still think of the conversations on the bus. I still think of all the good times, and just you were there for me when everybody else was kind of just like, man, this kid's a little crazy. I know I am crazy, and I could be eclectic, but I mean,
crazy.
I'm starting
Your
to kind of
passion.
find my passion.
Yeah. No, I always saw that with you, man. You were always a passionate kid. And, just like in my shoes, people like to make fun of the different person. And just because you were different doesn't mean you were weird. You had a passion, and we were also very young at the time. So like we were childish and whatnot, but like I saw that through everything. I'm not saying I was a Gandhi and like I was, spiritual. I saw this in you, but like it was easy to see. Like you had a passion, you were into the YouTube thing, and I'm like, yeah, why would I, bring this kid down? I always want to try and bring him up.
And you have to take risks to get what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, everyone likes to play it safe, but that only gets you to where you currently are. You have to make
Yep.
moves.
Yeah, moves.
So let's talk about your services now. But before we talk about what you charge, depending on duration and travel and all that. Like, what kind of videos do you film now?
So mainly, I've been focusing on music videos and weddings. So like right now it's crazy wedding season. Last weekend I was at a wedding Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'm also looking into doing commercials as I go on. I'm working with this guy Greg, who is if you guys live on Long Island, News 12, he's like doing all of those commercials, like all the good ones that look good. That's him. So he's kind of brought me under his wing. I've been assisting him and editing for him a lot. And, I'm just taking it all in. It's not like the most money I've ever made by any stretch, and it's a long, hard day. But I'm taking it all in, just like how I did with weddings with the guy I work with. I just took it all in until I was confident enough to do it myself. Now I do weddings under my own business name, and hopefully in a year or so I'll be doing commercials under my own name. So you got to really put the time in, type of thing. But yeah, Thursday we did Mercedes-Benz of Huntington, and that was a good 15-hour day. I got to this guy's house at 6:30, and I didn't get home until 9:30. And then, the next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I had 12-hour wedding days. So it's definitely a grind, man. Not as busy during the week. That's why I'm able to do this with you right now. But weekends are like crazy booked right now with weddings and, all that good stuff. A lot of music videos we like to do on the weekends as well, because my buddy Ryan, he works HVAC during the week. He's grinding with that. So his only free time is Saturday, Sunday. So we always try and do music videos then, because he's such a great help. I couldn't do his good work without Ryan. I've really taught him over the last few years. He's got his own equipment now, and I taught him and I brought him up. He's one of my best friends, and he's just a super, super big help with videos nowadays.
Right. So, how like, I guess, what do you charge if you're working solo? I mean, not solo, but if someone hires you directly and you're not working for another person, like what?
So for what exactly? Like a music video?
Yeah, let's start with the music video in different categories and
Yeah. So, I mean, I always tell people it varies what you want. There's so many aspects that can go into a music video, but usually I go by time and location. So, videos start at $800 for a performance video. A performance video is basically not having like a big storyline and all that stuff. It's basically just the artist performing.
Right.
We'll get B-roll shots of the environment that we're in, type of thing. And that's really it. It's basic, but it's clean. Everything I do and put my name on, it's not going to be bad looking. I'm big on making my stuff look at the best they can, lighting wise and editing wise and cinematography wise. I'm not huge into effects, that type of thing, because if you do look at professional high-end videos at the highest end of production, they're not throwing cheap effects on. They're doing real effects. Like, they'll bring in fire, they'll bring in explosions, type of thing. So I don't really like to delve into that stuff too much anymore, because it's like, if I can't do it to the level that they're doing it, and they obviously have a massive budget, I don't want to touch it. I want to do something that I know I can do, and it could look just as good as these $1 million budget music videos.
Right.
I'm not gonna, put myself down by getting into the whole visual effects thing because I'm not a professional visual effects artist whatsoever. So I don't want to, a lot of artists ask for that, and I'm like, just straight up, I don't do, I'm not heavy into effects like that. I could do little things here and there, but I'm not gonna make a straight visual effects video because that's just not my forte. But yeah, we start with $800 for a performance video, and it just goes up from there. Different locations. So with the Don Pope video, we were in Connecticut, New Haven, and then we went to New York City the next day. So all that stuff factors in. We could talk for hours, on different variations, but more of if you're just interested, I love to work with you. I'm not here to kill anyone, especially because I'm not like super super famous or anything yet. So it's not like I could charge like 10 grand, but I like to work with people and help people out and do the best job, and hopefully they come back.
Exactly. So how about weddings? Is the price the same? Is it similar? Or is it different?
Weddings are completely different animal. So I have set prices for my weddings. I have 3 different packages that I offer. It's basically I believe a 5-hour, an 8-hour, or a full 10-hour package.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe it starts at. I actually have. I just sent an email earlier, but I believe it's like 1,600, 2,400, and 3,900 in those orders. Not cheap, but when you're doing a wedding, it's a lot of that day is very expensive. So that's actually a small fraction of like what these people are actually paying for. And in comparison to other studios that are on Long Island, my prices are very, very fair comparatively. And for the product you're getting, I think we're putting out some of the best quality products out there. So I don't think it's outrageous or anything like that.
Exactly. So what's the best way to reach you? If your website, your phone, what's the
Yeah, so you can reach me at my website, JakeTuohyProductions.com. You can find my email there, JakeTuohyProductions@gmail. And yeah, that's really it. I mean, if you email me, I'd be more than happy to give you my number. We could text, chat, whatever you'd like to do. But yeah, website and email is great.
how about travel? Like what are you willing to travel out of state or
Yeah, absolutely. So, it all depends on where, but we just got back from Aruba, and we did a destination wedding in Aruba. And obviously, the client would have to take care of airfare and hotel. I'm not going to take that out of my budget type of thing. You want me to come. But, yeah, I'm down to travel basically anywhere, as long as it's taken care of. That's cool.
where has weddings taken you? Like what parts of the world?
So last year we've been to DR twice. We do a lot of weddings in Dominican Republic. Mainly because it's like all inclusive, I think. It's like a popular spot to do wedding videos. But we're trying to venture out to Italy next year, hopefully. And this past August, we were in Aruba. That was my first time in Aruba, and Aruba is insane. Like the weather is like unreal. It's so awesome.
Wow. So you're a world traveler.
You could say. You could say.
It's coming. Your work pays for it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Lucky. I'm lucky. I'm blessed.
exactly. So in terms of, is this something? This isn't a silly question, but it is something that maybe you have pondered on, or maybe it never crossed your mind. But do you see yourself doing something different, or is this always going to be something you'll do, like in terms of being a filmmaker?
I see this as being my life for sure. I don't think I could do anything. I don't think I'd be happy doing anything else, and that's always been my goal, is just to be happy with what I do. And if it pays, it pays. But I always wanted to be happy, and I'm just lucky that what I'm doing is paying the bills right now. My goal is ultimately to have a production company under my own name and have guys that I outsource for that are on my team, and we have all our own equipment. We don't need to go to rental houses, stuff like that. Like, I want to be like an all-in-one production company, where you come to and we take care of it all. And my main focus, I want to be doing music videos and commercials. That's what the main goal is. And, short films is cool too. But, that's down the line a little bit.
So just because you brought up commercial, you brought up the Mercedes Benz in Huntington, but if just to if people are familiar with Cambridge paving stones,
Yes.
I saw you post a picture or a story on Instagram, so
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll plug that in there just because
Yeah.
that's like
That's a national commercial.
exactly.
Right.
You grow up watching that. You know the ring, like the motto or like the jingle in your head because it's just
Yep.
like
Cambridge, the paving. Yep.
so yeah. So what? I mean, can you talk a little bit about that? How'd you get into that? How?
Yeah, so that was with the same guy who I work with, Mercedes-Benz of Huntington, this guy Greg, of Vispol TV. We linked up a few months ago, and I guess he liked how I worked, and he gave me like 20 jobs of editing these doctor videos. And they all came back great, and he loved them. So he continued working with me, and now like I'm his go-to assistant and go-to, second camera guy. So that was through Greg. We went out early in the morning. That was like one of the longest production days of my life and the hottest, by far the hottest. It was, I don't know if you remember, it was a few weeks ago we had like that crazy heat spell.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, it was like 103 degrees. We went out to Homedale, New Jersey, I believe it was called. Met at his house at 4 a.m., got there at 7, didn't get finished till like 6, 7 o'clock. Didn't get home until like 8, 9 o'clock. So it was a long, hot day. I thought I was going to pass out at one point, but we got it done. It came out beautiful. Greg owns a Red Epic, which if anyone who's into video is listening, like the Red Epic is like the holy grail of video. It's like a $50,000 digital cinema camera. And that's what he shoots all these commercials with. And I'm just really lucky to be alongside of him and helping him create the commercial. And I'm just constantly learning and learning. What he's doing, to be honest, is nothing that crazy. It's nothing that I don't think I could do personally. It's just he has 20 years of experience of doing these type of things. So I don't think I could do what he's doing at the moment, just because he's got all the experience and he knows the angles, he knows how he wants to do it, he has it all laid out. But nothing he's doing is out of my reach, if you know what I'm saying. Like I could definitely, see myself doing that in a couple of years as I get more experience with dealing with clientele and timelines, stuff like that.
Definitely. So like, if for example, let's role play a little bit. Jake, what do you do for a job? What do you tell people when people ask you that?
What do I do for a job? You were breaking up a little bit.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. If someone asks, like, just say someone like you meet someone on the street or you meet someone that's not familiar with you, like they ask you, oh, what do you do? Like, do you tell them you're a filmmaker? Do you tell them you're a freelancer? What's your like?
Yeah, I'm
you
still
explain
trying to,
like what's your title, I guess.
Right, yeah, I'm still kind of trying to figure that out myself. So I want to call myself a filmmaker, but I feel like a lot of people associate a filmmaker with making films, and that's not so much of what I do anymore. Like, I still have a passion for that. I still love it. But I do, like, commercial work, and I do, music videos a lot more. So I find myself calling myself a freelance videographer or a freelance cinematographer and editor based on what the what I get a feel for what the person is asking me for. Because a videographer, like, I feel like is someone who holds like one of these big Panasonic AV shoulder cameras who's
Right.
just filming. He doesn't really have like a crazy skill. He just does video. But what I'm doing is much more of the cinematography filmmaker aspect, but I do a lot of other stuff that you could call videography type of thing. So I'm kind of like in the middle.
Right. So, we definitely got in depth with your background and your career and your history with, as a individual, as a student, as a filmmaker, as a
Right.
freelancer. Just to kind of, before we wrap things up, like, what are some things you want to pass along? And, this is a good time to plug in your information as well. All of Jake's personal contact information regarding his website and even the types of camera equipment he uses and all that, and the types of services he charges. I'll put that on the rewindingminute.com website. And please go check out Jake, because it's so humbling to, like, we kind of grew up together in that sense, and now we're really just figuring out and just really getting nitty gritty and just what we want to do. So I think it's a pleasure having you on the show, but I just want you to end things off.
Yeah. No, it's been I've known Leon forever, and it's really cool that he's doing a podcast and trying to chase his dreams, and I think that's so awesome. So I would never try and brush someone off who's trying to chase his dreams, and the fact that I was a guest, I'm really appreciative, and it was a really good time. Jake Tuohy Films on Instagram, JAKE and then the number 2E Films. JakeTuohyProductions.com is my website, and all the other little stuff I'm sure will be in the description. But I appreciate everyone who listened this far, and I really appreciate Leon for letting me on.
Well, thanks for catching up today.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, dude. I can't wait to see. I'll definitely be following you as well. I mean, I always do, but if there's any updates, I'll definitely try to update the audience as well.
Definitely, and maybe we'll do another one of these a year from now, and who knows what's going to happen,
Yeah, you'll be too busy by then.
I don't know. Hopefully I'll be busy, but I'll always try and make time the best I can to come on stuff like this. I love it.
Even if it's just for a minute.
Even if it's just for a minute.
All right, take care, guys.
Take care.